Okay. No, I can still hear the music. Oh man, it's so weird. It's so weird. Where is it? It's gonna drive me nuts. If I close this, that doesn't do it. I found where it was. Everybody, I found where it was. Okay, so let you in on what's happening here at Fistful of Dice HQ. I had the music from the stream going in my headphones and I could not figure out where it was coming from. It was coming from the Kickstarter page because I had the backer update open and the little embedded video in the backer update started playing. So I wasn't looking for audio in a Kickstarter window, but that's where it was. So anyway, I hope that everyone sleeps better tonight knowing that I figured that out. Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Fistful of Dice. My name is Matt. This is the fifth and final mission manual one-shot that I'm running here in honor of our mission manual campaign. And this is one I'm really excited about. I'm going to be running a mission called Fall of Phoenix Peak, and this is a mission that was written for us by Grant Howitt, who you might know as the designer of such great games as Heart and Spire. He's a really talented game designer, and he was really awesome to work with, and he wrote a really great mission, so I'm excited to run it here. I'm also joined by some amazing players, a couple of which actually worked on this book and are currently working on this book, so that's really cool too. So I'll let everyone introduce themselves and tell us what you're playing tonight. What chassis, what pilot did you go with, and which modules did you pick? We'll go ahead and start immediately below me here with DJ.
Yes, I'm DJ, and I'm playing a Merc, which is a new pilot from the book, and then my chassis is a Scout. The modules I picked is a super reactor to upgrade my reactor, a energy modulator which upgrades my damage die, and then because I'm a Merc, I get an extra module, and I chose the micro missiles.
Awesome combination. Micro missiles is probably my favorite new module. Funnel drones, but micro missiles is pretty close. Next up, Gwen, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you're playing tonight.
I'm Gwen, and tonight I'm playing a vet, which is again one of the new pilots that you can be, and I'm piloting an auxiliary mech, which is all about helping out my allies. And to do that, the modules that I took were as the same as DJ. I got a super reactor, making my reactor even better, and a Geist system, which means that I can take presence checks instead of reactor rolls. But if I fail it, I also take D6 damage and have to roll my reactor die anyway, which is very fun, I think.
Yes, Barker had that last time, and it did not work out very well for him. So we'll see how it works for you tonight.
I ended up with a pretty big present, so hopefully the dice are with me.
Yes, yeah. Hopefully you roll better than Barker did last week. He did not fare well. Karen, go ahead, introduce yourself, and tell us what you're playing.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karen, also known as Myth and Gears on the social media stuff. Tonight, I'm going to play, and I'm so excited, I get to play a Bionic Vanguard, both of which are new pilot and chassis. And for my modules, I picked Lodium Alloy, which gives me a +2 armor points, and Funnel Drones. Yes! So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, Funnel Drones. Awesome. All right, and last but certainly not least, Keel, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you're playing.
Hello, I'm Keel from Run Right Play, and today I will be playing. My pilot's name is Casey Dillon, call sign Vortex Midnight. So cool. Straight from the roll tables in the Mecha Hag book. She or they are the commander pilot from the core book, in the Colossus chassis from the mission manual book. The modules that I took are here somewhere. There we go. I also have the Lodium Alloy, which is extra armor points because that's cool and simple. And I am going to be trying out the precog system, which I'm super excited about. And I picked as well. Matt let us pick a weapon quality, and it'll be fun to reveal this in play. But I do want to tell you what it is now. I picked the belt-fed quality, which is going to be super fun. I have seen it in one of the other, just one, at least.
Yeah,
one of the other,
I
missions
think
that
we
you
only
ran.
had one person do the belt fed, which I was expecting everyone to do belt fed weapons. If I'm being honest. Yeah.
So I'm super keen to try it because I've attached it to a beam cannon. So I've got some cool flavor in mind that I'm going to be narrating with that. It's going to be fun.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me, everybody. I have been looking forward to running this game, and this is going to be a great way to kind of end the Kickstarter campaign on a high note, which I can't believe I haven't said this yet, but there's a link down in the description for the Mission Manual Kickstarter if you want to go check it out. Listen, that audio thing at the beginning completely threw me, so... but yes, we are doing very well on the Kickstarter. We hit 30 grand today, which is... so wild. I'm so happy about it. So definitely go check it out if you haven't yet. And if you have, thank you so much for helping us get there. So without further ado, let's play some Mecha Hack. We open on a city skyline. This high-tech, futuristic metropolis, these towering skyscrapers of steel and glass rising up from the surface of this world. The sky is orange with flame. And as we pan down deeper into the city, we can see fires smoldering in the city, and we can see just how much destruction has happened here. 3 days ago in this city, Phoenix Peak, multiple disasters, including volcanic eruptions, a void maw incursion, and insurrectionist strikes, hit all at the same time, leaving the inhabitants scattered and panicked. There are reinforcements on the way, but there's no telling when they might arrive, and the destruction is spreading by the day. We pan through these clogged streets with their bombed out buildings and collapsed structures, debris and vehicles littering the streets. And we see this group of 4 mecha moving quickly down these alleyways. They are sleek, pristine white mecha with these very soft, rounded edges, these almost more feminine-looking sort of silhouettes as they move down the street. They move almost like arachnids or insects, multiple limbs clambering out and pulling them forward. These are mecha of the Aeonic Primacy, and they are patrolling this city. As they round this corner, they enter this sort of town square. There are the sort of charred husks of vehicles, multiple buildings kind of toppled over, debris everywhere. And as they enter this town square, these 4 mecha kind of silently communicate with one another and begin spreading out in the plaza, hunting, searching for something. As one of them nears a darkened alleyway, they are ambushed. And DJ, I would like for you to describe, please, how Violet Fossil, what we see for the first time as Violet Fossil, makes itself known and absolutely destroys this Aeonic Primacy mecha.
When you first look down this alleyway, it's not only like dark, but it's empty. There's nothing in the alleyway. And then from out of nowhere, Violet Fossil's cloaking field turns off, and a enormous dagger with these blue veins along the blade juts out and stabs right into this mech, and this blue energy goes all over this mech, and it just melts as the corrosive aspects of this dagger just eat right through the metal of the mech.
Amazing. And almost simultaneously, another of these mecha is dispatched. Gwen, go ahead and describe what Crimson Zero looks like and how it dispatches this enemy mecha.
So, as Violet Fossil stabs into the Aeonic mech, rushing behind him down the alleyway is a janky-looking, hunched over, plated, pangolin-looking mech just running down the street with a huge scattergun slung under its arms, and it as the one of the other Aeonic mechs turn to see their ally hitting the floor, Crimson Zero bashes into them, shoulder checks them basically onto the ground, and steps over the top of them, lowers their scattergun, and just fires into the chest of the Aeonic mech, blowing it to bits.
Yeah, and there's even like a splatter of like this strange sort of blue fluid that comes flying out of this thing, that somehow powers it, splattering the hull of your mecha. And then at the same time, a third one is dispatched. Karen, go ahead and describe Risen Fury and how they take out this enemy.
So while the two Aeonic mechs are kind of being dispatched in that alley, and the other two are kind of maybe just noticing this, from above drops another mech that at first glance almost seems similar. They've got that white Aeon tech gleam to them, but it's also been fused with the more Terran metals. And this mech just all of a sudden, from like maybe a rooftop, is flying down. Well, we'll say flying, but really falling really fast at these at this mech below, getting the jump on it to say. And as she's dropping, this third arm kind of reaches around from the back. It's holding a beam rifle, and it shoots at the mech at the ground, kind of disabling it a little bit, as right before it lands with its sword straight through, top down.
Very cool. Yeah, you just impale this mecha with the blade immediately after it's struck through with this beam from the rifle, and it crumbles into a heap. The fourth and final mecha is just now turning to react to this ambush as Vortex Midnight makes themselves known. Keel, go ahead and describe what we see.
So the fourth and final Aeonic mech is standing on top of an overturned bus when they turn to try and react to Risen Fury's attack there. And we see as they turn this purplish, bluish sort of glow start illuminating one of their sides, and suddenly they're lifted into the air, and we see this huge mech, head and shoulders at least above, standing that much taller than this Aeonic mech, as the Aeonic mech gets lifted up by this towering mech with arms that seem too long for it, and as it's standing tall, it doesn't even have a distinguished head like many mechs do. It's just got this sort of fin, and the Aeonic mech sort of grabs against the Lodium alloy hand that it's struggling against, and then another one comes and just lifted up and torn in half the bottom half of this Aeonic mech, torn from the top half, and we just see this sort of close-up of the Aeonic mech down beside this overturned bus, just another piece of rubble.
Yeah, more wreckage for the pile. And as this brief but brutal encounter takes place, the noise just immediately dies down as the 4 Aeonic Mecha spark and sputter on the ground as their systems fail. But the 4 of you find yourself standing alone as a fire team here in the middle of the plaza, and you have a few moments to converse or plan your next move if you so wish.
That was too easy. Surely there's more nearby.
Yeah, this can't be it. There's too much going on today that this can't be over this easy.
It's almost like they didn't even try.
They tried to find us. They didn't try to fight us very well.
I mean, mostly that's just because we're so obviously amazing at destroying these Aeonic plebs that they don't really stand much of a chance.
Squad member of the month, ladies and gentlemen, Crimson Zero.
Thank you very much. And
Fossil, what you got? Calling for like a what do you see on your systems?
Could I do some sort of scan to see if there's anything else in the
Yeah.
area?
Absolutely, go for it.
Success.
So you do a quick little scan of the surrounding area, and you don't detect any reactor signatures, which is pretty heartening. But you do pick up the faint static of a very weak signal coming about 2 kilometers to your north. To north. And you can barely make out that there's a voice sort of in the static, but you can't make out any words or anything like that. It's a very, very weak signal.
I say there's some sort of signal coming from the north. It's too weak to make out.
can you tell if it's one of ours or is it one of them, the kaiju?
There's
Oh wait.
too much static on the line.
Well, I reckon we probably go check this out. There could be survivors.
Lead the way, Zero.
Uh,
Suggest caution. Could also be a trap.
oh, if they try to spring a trap on us, I'm sure we'll manage fine. And then Sheila is my character's name. I didn't mention that before. She plods like her mech's really. It's an old mech. It's been around a while. She's a veteran of old wars and old fights, and her mech's been with her through that whole history. So it's a little bit worse for wear, but it gets her through the day basically. And she turns towards north and starts plodding towards the direction that Violet Fossil said the signal's coming from.
Okay, you all head in that direction, moving through the streets as you're able. Your mecha aren't really designed to fit through a lot of these alleyways, but you take the main roads toward the center of town, and Crimson Zero, with you taking point, you're the first to pick up this signal a little stronger, and you can hear through the static there is a distress call coming out, and it says something like, to anyone nearby, to any friendly Phoenix Peak forces, we have children with us. We have refugees with us. We're trying to get out of the city. If anyone can hear us, please, we require assistance. We require escort. Please copy. Anyone.
So I hit on the comms and be like, wait, did we decide on like a name for our group?
I think now is as good a time as any.
Okay. Well, so let's go with. I mean, I think Phoenix Group's pretty good if we're on Phoenix Peak and we're around
Yeah,
here. So
Phoenix Group is great.
so yeah, I get on the comms and reply. This is Phoenix Group. We picked up your signal. Have you got a what do you call it? A more precise location? We're picking up we're picking up the signal pretty rough.
Yeah, there's a lot of jammers in the area. We'll send you our coordinates now, beaming straight to your cockpit, and these coordinates will kind of blip, 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 kind of splice down your HUD, and you can see that they are close. They're within a half kilometer of you to the north.
And I say we'll be there as quick as we can. Is there any is there any enemies or anything in the area that you know of? And how's
Not that we know of, but the patrols have been pretty regular. They might be coming soon. I'm not sure.
so? And then I relay this information to everyone and be like, well, let's go. We got to get there as quick as we can.
Roger that. Risen Fury. I need you to see what you can do about these scrambled comms.
Yes, Commander. I will try to see if I can piece together a better link through this.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and give me a system check?
Ooh, that is a success.
So you are able to determine that the reason why the signal is so poor through here is that there is a aeonic jammer in the area, and you kind of you like follow the trail of interference, and you can kind of pinpoint a couple possible locations where the jammer might be nearby.
Commander, they've got the signal jammed, and I would relay the coordinates for the two possible places, or at least the areas around where it could be.
Yeah, Casey sees the blips come up on their HUD in the cockpit. We can't check both out, and we don't want to split up with more patrols in the area.
Sheila interrupts. She's like, "Mate, we don't have time to piss fart about with these when we got people waiting for us. We need to get out of here." She's like fairly subordinate. She maybe has known Vortex Midnight for quite a while and doesn't really see him so much as a commander. More like a friend than a commander, I would say. So she constantly just tells him to piss off, I suppose.
Yeah. You're right as always, Sheila. Comms are working well enough for now. They can wait. We don't know what kind of situation these people are in. Let's move there first, but keep a close eye. Keep a close eye on those on the radar, Risen Fury. If we can divert after we reach the civvies, we'll do so.
We'll do so.
Peter, do I need to cloak and scout ahead?
Thought you were already onto it, Fossil.
Yes, sir.
Sheila, you're with me.
No worries.
So, Violet Fossil, you scout and sort of or stealth and scout ahead. Go ahead and describe what that looks like as you sort of clamber over the debris of the city.
As I activate my cloaking device, the sort of the shimmer comes down from the top of the bottom of my mech, and it's not like true invisibility. It's like warping light around the mech, and so as I sort of scout ahead, I'm sort of jumping over cars and in and out, weaving in and out of the buildings, just trying to looking at the heads-up display, looking at all the coordinates we've been sent, and sort of triangulate a place that could be like a center of issues.
You move toward. Oh, I'm muted. Muted. You move toward the where the civilians are located, and as you come around the corner, you can see that there are these two large hover vehicles that they're kind of like big like flatbed trucks, but on these sort of hover thrusters, and there are people that are like piled onto them, and you can see that there are dozens of people who are with shovels who are trying to like move debris aside and clear a path for these hover trucks to go through, and there are also a couple of people standing with like RPGs, like rocket propelled grenade launchers, and they're just like keeping an eye out for any mecha in the area that they need to pop one of these things off toward. But they obviously don't see you stealthed, so you have the drop on them. But they definitely look like civilians of the city.
I would get behind a building and decloak, and then before I come around the building, I would send a comm signal to the civilians and let them know that we're on our way. We're almost there.
You over the comm hear the guy say, "Acknowledged, Phoenix Group," and then you hear him actually yelling to the guys, "Hey, stand down! It's Phoenix Group!" And the people with the RPGs kind of lower them a little bit.
I would also radio back to the rest of the group and let them know what's going on.
So yeah, we'll be there momentarily, Violet. We're not too far out from you, and we'll continue up towards where Violet is.
Cool. As you're moving toward where Violet is, I would say that Violet is distant from you right now. Risen Fury, are you still kind of scanning the sort of the comm traffic around you, sort of keeping an eye out for the signals?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. You pick up a little blip, a ping on the radar, and even though there's disruption, you can see that there's another patrol that is coming, and they're heading straight for the coordinates where this convoy is, and will likely get there before you are able to get there.
I immediately tell Vortex Midnight that there's a patrol incoming to designated coordinates. To destination coordinates,
Hostile?
sorry. Yes. I'm anticipating it is another patrol, sir.
Fossil.
These ones are not dilly-dallying. They are heading straight for them.
Fossil, you've got incoming. What's your position?
I'm just outside the civilian camp.
Prepare to defend.
Yes, sir.
How many are there? What weapons do we have? Vortex says, or Casey says, as she's pressing buttons inside the cockpit and pulling levers, and simultaneously has sort of given the order for Zero, Fury, and themselves to race towards the position as well. So it's probably sort of out of breath, like the intensity of this conversation is probably starting to pick up actually, and the intensity in their voice.
So yeah, we'll rush towards the convoy as quick as we can. we're not being too stealthy about it. We're just rushing through, yeah? Just trying to get there as quick as possible. I would probably suggest that you two go in front of me because I'm not really made for combat so much. But yeah, if you guys take the lead, I'll bring up the rear and we'll get there as quick as we can.
Cool. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. So mobility or system, whichever is higher for you, and you can just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and I'll track initiative on something.
Where's my camera? There we go.
Okay, so everyone's going except Vortex before enemies. Okay, cool. Hey, that actually works because Keel's last in line. That's easy to remember here. Unless anyone has any issues with this, we can just go in webcam order here. So Violet Fossil, you would be up first. You're able to get the radar pings from Risen Fury to see where they are, and you can see that they are far distance away from you, so that would be 2 moves away from you at the moment, and they are closing fast.
First thing I would do is I would let the civilian camp know that there's enemies incoming, and I'm preparing to defend, and I would head towards get in position between them and the enemies, and see, I'll do I know how many there are?
You think that there are 5. I'm muted again. Classic muted. You think based on the pings that Risen Fury sent you, there appear to be 5 in this current patrol group, though the interference is pretty strong and you're not sure if that's accurate.
Okay. I would move into near range to the patrol, and then I would fire off my micro missiles at the patrol group.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your check. Do so with disadvantage because they are currently hidden from you by debris and buildings, but you can try and basically track them to fire it off.
Okay. That's a failure.
Okay, so your missiles go off. They go over these buildings, and you can hear them and actually see explosions going off, but you don't see any of the blips blip out like they should on your radar, and they continue moving toward you.
Reactor is good.
Okay,
So-
great. Crimson Zero, you are up next.
Okay, so how far were we away again? We were 2 movements, right? Is that right? For us? Or
So
was that
you
just
that
Violet?
was just for Violet. You were actually 3 moves away from the enemy patrol.
Yep, no worries. Okay, I just gotta quickly see that. All right, so yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna like hoof it like as quick as I can. Use actions. They take up like a normal one of the 2 actions. Is that right? Or
Yeah, correct.
yeah. So I'm just gonna book it. I'm just gonna try and get to the civilians as quick as possible. Like running down the roads and kicking cars out of the way and pushing down buses and just kind of clearing the road for the other 2 maybe as I run towards the civilians to
Great.
defend.
Is that 2 move actions for you then?
Yeah, 2 move
Okay.
actions.
All right. Reactor roll, please.
Okay. Oh, that's right. See, because this is the first time I've actually played as a
Yeah,
player. I always forget this stuff.
exactly. I know.
So
It's like when I play it, I like constantly forget to do stuff because I'm just not used to rolling dice because I'm
Yeah,
the game
yeah.
master. Yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
All right. So my reactor is a D10. So that's fine. It actually came up as a 2, which generally that's usually a fail. Is that right? But because I'm a
but
vet,
because you're a vet, you're too old for this shit. Yep.
yeah, I'm too old for this shit. So
Yeah.
I managed to avoid the reactor going down.
Yep. I love it.
I should
Okay.
have taken a presence test. Oh, it's fine.
Yeah. So Crimson Zero just goes hauling ass through the ruined city, knocking cars aside as they do so. So Risen Fury, you are up next. What would you like to do?
So Risen Fury is going to move towards the enemy, where the enemy patrol where we anticipate them to be. Probably initially, this mech almost looks like it doesn't know how to run as it gets up to speed, as it kind of knocks into buildings before it kind of gains its stride and goes. And while running, I'm going to do a use action to divert power from my reactor
Ooh,
into
yeah.
weapons.
Very cool. What does that look like?
I think that's partly maybe why this mech is having so much trouble actually just running, which normally you'd think wouldn't be a problem. It's almost like you can see the inner core, like the light on its chest just kind of fades a little bit, like flickers before fading, but their hum on their what is it? I have a sword. The hum on the sword and in the rifle just becomes much louder as the power on them is amped up.
Very cool. Okay. These Aeonic Mecha are going to take their turn now. The patrol, you kind of can see them now, Violet Fossil, as you're standing there, through the skeletal husks of these buildings. You can see pristine white flashing as the mecha move between the buildings, and you can see them kind of fan out. And on your radar, every little bloop, 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 you can see them kind of spreading out and flanking you on both sides. And they are going to attack with their what do they have? They have plasma repeaters. So I need you to give me a mobility test, please. Because of all the cover, you do have advantage on the test, though.
You've been practicing that sound effect. Holy crap.
No, I've watched a lot of cartoons and movies.
Success.
Awesome. So the plasma bolts just eat through the concrete and the steel of these buildings. They just leave these molten holes as they begin firing in this sort of ring around you. And even a few glancing shots sort of ping uselessly off your armor, but the cover is what saves you from taking any damage. But you do see that they are surrounding you now. And we are now going to give Vortex Midnight their turn.
Vortex Midnight is moving at as high speed as possible. It's not particularly elegant, this huge lumbering ancient mech. But they, and so Risen Fury and Crimson Zero probably both overtake them as they're sort of lumbering along trying to get up speed. And so I'll do one move action, and then as Risen Fury finally sort of gets their footing and gets up a bit of momentum, I'll use my use action for my commander ability, Battle Tactics, and they'll call out, Risen Fury, these people are our neighbors and friends. This is our home, and we will fight fiercely. We know it better than these Aeonic invaders. Keep your footing, as you get to take a free move action.
Sweet. And it's almost like the words hit whatever part of the brain that is still human, and it's like instinct finally kicks in, and the mech is now running like a unit, and we'll take another move action.
Great. That puts you in close range with Violet Fossil. So as you come careening down these roadways, you see Violet Fossil kind of taking cover behind these buildings, and you can see the plasma fire from all directions as you come around the corner. And you can see that Violet Fossil has sort of put himself in between this patrol and the civilians, and the civilians are digging, just frantically trying to clear a path for these trucks to go through. And that actually takes us to your turn, Violet Fossil. I think if you use both your actions there, Keel. Cool. All right, Violet Fossil, you're up again.
So as these Aeon mechs are sort of fanning out and surrounding the area, I see Risen Fury coming up to me, and I say, "They're spreading out. We need to watch our backs." And I'll run up to the closest one to me, and I'll take my dagger and try to swing and see if I can get a hit in with my dagger.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Success. So it's a D8. 8 damage.
Okay.
And then on their turn, they'll take a D4 damage for the corrosive.
Okay, cool.
And then I think I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna just take another swing. Another success. That's 7 damage and reactor.
Before,
What were you saying?
I was gonna say before you rolled the reactor, I was gonna see how far away you were from me, so I could roll it for you.
Okay.
So you don't, because I can take reactor rolls for you.
Okay.
I can tank
Yeah.
them. Sorry, I have a little bit of trouble with the distances in my head. How far away am I from Violet?
So you are now, since you did two
Yeah.
moves last time, you're now near distance to
Okay,
both
yeah.
Violet Fossil and Risen Fury.
Yeah, cool. I thought so. Yeah, so I can take that test
Okay.
for you, so you don't so you can just keep kind of using your reactor as much as you want, and I'll make a presence test instead of my normal reactor roll, which my presence is 17, and so I fail that. I mean, not fail. I succeed. I rolled a 3. I just said the wrong thing. There's the 3. And so yeah, your reactor's fine.
Now I have a question. Does
Yeah.
that corrosive damage stack?
I would say it would, because it's
Okay.
cool if it does. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So that's my 2 actions.
Okay, cool. Oh, how much damage did you do for that second attack?
7.
7. That's right. Okay, cool. Thank you. I just didn't have that written down. Okay, cool. And that brings us to you, Crimson Zero.
Okay, so, and sorry, another thing I didn't ask is how far away are the enemies from me?
So they are in close range with Violet and Risen. They're sort of surrounding them in a group. So you are also near distance away from them as well.
Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to my mech kind of gets in position, can see what's going on in front of us. I mess around on my controls, and as I do so, one of the armor panels off my mech kind of lights up and lifts off, and it flies over to Risen Fury, and it's a little helper drone that attaches onto the back of Risen Fury, giving her extra energy. So she can add a d6 on. She can either add a d6 or subtract a d6 roll from a result of a single attack or test made to avoid damage. So, as I'm doing that, she's like, "Here you go. Maybe this will help." And as she does that, she also lowers her shotgun and takes a shot at one of the near enemies, which would be so it's +2 because it's a heavy. Okay, so what? Which is a hit, and my damage is d6, so it's a 5.
Haha! You have downgraded the swarm die on these guys. They are now down to a D8.
And because I'm not sure how this works with swarms, but because it's a swarm and my weapon is arc, I can take a reactor test to stop them from having an action next turn. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. That'll work.
Yep. So I'll do another reactor test. I'll futz around with my controls and what do we got? So I actually, oh no, my presence is 17. I passed that just.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
They so basically the swarm is going to be diminished on its next turn because you have disabled units within the swarm. So and you also probably destroyed a couple there. So what does that look like as you take out a couple of those?
So yeah, as I lower my my big scattergun, it kind of charges up and pulses, crackles with electricity from the arc power that powers it, and it just as the shot fires off, it's just like dozens of electric shocks, electric bolts fire towards the swarm, like bouncing off of them all and crackling with it's to match my name. It's actually a red kind of energy and electricity. And it shocks through all of the swarm and knocks out and explodes a few of the things in the swarm.
Very cool. Awesome. Yeah, and it's very fighting in this environment. It's like fighting inside a labyrinth. It's just like these big, like sheer sort of towers on every side, and like so as they're like as you're like firing off, you're like firing through cover and just obliterating these enemies as they try to move.
And so like the lightning strikes are also like hitting off of buildings and stuff, and glass is going everywhere. And
yeah, there's glass like raining down on top of you as you're firing. Yep. Because even just the recoil from the weapon is like enough to shatter nearby glass and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. Okay, awesome. So that was 2 actions for you. So now it's Risen Fury's turn, and don't forget about that D6, Risen.
Yes, I've got that. So I am within close range of these enemies, right?
Yep, of the patrol. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So Risen Fury, without any hesitation, is basically getting right there in the thick of the things, and I am going to attack with my. I had it a second. Beam sword. She's got her shield in one hand, her beam sword in the other.
Cool.
And we're going to hack and slash. Hopefully, some of these enemies. Oh yes, that's a 6. So yes, that is a success.
Okay, give me some damage.
Oh, and I upped my thing to a D10, so that's pretty sweet. Oh, so it's a 4 points.
Don't forget you can add that D6.
Yep.
On the damage or on the roll for?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's just the attack roll.
Oh, Yep. Yeah, just the attack.
Save that for that. Yeah, so 4 damage. And then as a use action, I don't know if any of these things would be considered in near range, but if not, I will just shoot at close range. But it's almost like a will of its own. That other arm that's holding the beam rifle is firing in a completely different direction. It's like, who's operating this thing? We don't know. But I'm going to shoot with the beam rifle at another enemy. So
is it at disadvantage because they're at close range?
They're close. And this is where I am going to use that D6 to subtract.
Beautiful.
Yes, so now that makes the fail into a success.
Yeah, teamwork.
Yay! So as that happens, I just want to narrate what happens with the little backpack. So it just like as you fire, it like pulses with energy. It superheats basically and pours its energy into your mech, helping you with your targeting. And as it does, it kind of flies off and attaches back onto my my mech.
Perfect. So like almost as if as soon as the mechanism was going to be triggered, it's like that little drone kind of just slightly adjusted the aim, and they're going to take 3 damage from that fire.
Okay. Cool.
That is my turn.
All right. The patrol has fanned out, but as some of their numbers are starting to drop, they're kind of pairing up, trying to help each other out. I'm going to need Risen and Violet to both give me mobility tests, please. Okay. All right, so Violet, let me go ahead and roll damage. One of these pristine white mecha come through a concrete wall nearby you. And as they do so, this plasma beam sort of emerges from the gauntlet, and they drive it in between the plates of your armor. It's going to be 7 damage coming at you.
Gonna take one of those as an armor point.
Cool.
And then take the rest.
And one tries to swing at you as well, Risen, but you manage to avoid taking any critical damage from that.
And we got that corrosive damage.
Yes, go ahead and roll that for me if you would.
5.
They downgrade again. They are down to a d6. So the one that struck you, it actually, as the blade drives in, the blade like flickers off, and it like the mecha like melts and falls into pieces as your corrosive damage finishes it off before it can get in a second strike. All right, Vortex Midnight, you're up. Oh, go ahead, DJ.
I was gonna say I was gonna flavor that as that one armor point that I lost.
Yeah.
My armor plating is these crystals from the back of these ancient progenitor kaiju, and this blue energy that flows through my weapon is actually from these crystals. And so as he shatters one of these the crystals, the corrosive energy splashes back onto the mech.
Very cool. Awesome. Okay, Vortex Midnight, you're up.
That was super rad. If I'm imagining it right, I am far distance from. I'm 2 moves away.
Yes, because 2 moves away. Correct.
Because I did one.
Yep.
Awesome. That's all I need. Okay, so Vortex Midnight sort of lumbers to a slow and then a stop, and I'll use a use action to enter battle mode. So what that looks like is these like arms that seem too long for the sort of odd humanoid shape that this mecha is, sort of reach out forward, and then they sort of rotate and open and change, and then so does portions of the chest plate, and they lock in there sort of around the reactor there, and it starts sort of powering up and glowing. So that's the battle mode. So I'll roll my reactor die.
You want me to roll it for you?
No, it was fine. And also I have a kinetic reactor that's part of all this description. So if I roll the max, not that it would be useful here, but if I roll the max on my die, then I can damage a near or close enemy. Not that I have any right now, but anyway. So reactor die was fine. And so while I'm in battle mode, I reduce incoming damage by a d4 and add a d4 to all my damage rolls, but I have disadvantage on mobility tests. So standing back there doing that, and then just gonna fire off a shot from the heavy chest embedded beam cannon.
Oh, cool.
So I'm flavoring that's the 2 hands for the heavy weapon.
I love it. That's very cool.
Okay, so it's a power test, but I have add a +2 because it's a heavy weapon. Excellent, that's 4. So that's a hit, but I get my D8 damage plus my D4 for being in battle mode, and an extra +2.
And an extra +2 for the heavy weapon.
Holy moly.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so that is 7 damage. Could have been
7
better, but
damage.
still pretty good.
Nice.
And so that will be at one of the ones that is Fossil still engaged with one? Or no, you took that one out with the corrosion, hey?
There's It's hard to tell how many are left because they're like flitting between the buildings, but you managed to track a couple of them with this beam and cut right through them. You actually downgraded them to a D4. So go ahead and describe what it looks like as you pop a couple of these guys with this beam.
Awesome. So as you described it, how it's quite this narrow quarters with the grid of the streets and the towers, even though a lot of them are ruined. That's the reason that Vortex sort of slowed to a stop and did this, because it's like shooting fish in a barrel to some extent with this beam weapon. So she decided to stop and sort of charged it up and then waited, and one was sort of flitting across and then just tried to trace it and just catch him like shooting skeet.
Yeah.
Except the and it's all happening at once, but yeah, the beam is sort of still going because I'm obviously gonna next turn, if things are still happening, use my belt fed ability to just keep hammering damage.
Cool.
So it's basically just like this rail beam.
Yeah, just a beam of death.
Just swanging through the street.
You cut one of these. It's basically one of these mecha is leaping across 2 rooftops, and as it leaps across, you catch it with this beam and slice it in half, and the 2 halves keep traveling, and they both slam into the side of this building and just blow up as you hew them in twain. Okay, very cool. I think we're back to Violet Fossil. So you kind of you can see the pings from these reactors like vanishing off your radar, Violet, as the rest of the fire team has arrived and they start cutting through this enemy patrol. What would you like to do on your turn?
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to activate my cloaking field and shimmer out of existence again. And that would take a reactor die. So can you take care of that?
Yep, I can. One of the smaller plates on my arm kind of like shoots off in the direction of Violet and attaches to them, and it does some on the fly calculations to efficiently make his reactor go off, and the reactor rolls all fine.
Great.
And the little robot shoots back onto my arm as it finishes up its job.
Okay. And once I shimmer out, I'm going to find the nearest mech and approach it, and come out of my cloak as I swing my dagger at them in an ambush. And so I'll get this attack at advantage.
Awesome.
And I needed it. That's a success. The other die was exactly my power. So that's D8. Only 1 damage, but I will get the corrosive damage on.
And you also get additional damage for the ambush as
yes.
well. I think
Right.
you get a D6.
D6, yes.
Not mistaken.
That's a 5, so 6 total, and then the corrosive damage on their turn.
Okay, great. Yeah, you just start cutting through the last of these. They're in a full retreat at this point. They're trying to gather back up to retreat, but the clogged streets are now a downside to them, a weakness. Crimson Zero, you are up.
Okay, so as while I've still got my my gun leveled at the enemies, I'm just going to fire off an attack with that first. So it's a heavy weapon, so it's +2, which I pass, and then the damage is D6 +2, which is a 6 as well.
Okay. You take out another one. What does it look like?
So so how much is left in the swarm? Like, is it so?
You
'cause it's
see
on a
that there's
D4
like
now, right?
maybe 2 or 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So the for a second fire, she kind of coalesces the electricity shot into more of a beam instead of a shotgun, and fires on some of the remaining swarm with that big crackle of it's more just like one big shock of energy rather than the multiple ones.
Yeah.
And she fires us off into the swarm.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Risen Fury, you're up.
Oh, sorry,
You
hang on,
have
I've got
another action. Yeah.
Yep. The I'm probably just gonna do the same thing again and chuck one of my drones onto Risen Fury again. Try and get as much damage as possible.
Great.
Which is a reactor roll, which I'm going to use my presence again. Which this time I fail. It's equal to is a fail, isn't it?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so I failed that. So as I'm poking around on my machine, the age of the mecha kind of gets the best of it, and it kind of shocks like the energy, the electric energy, and it kind of explodes a bit internally. And I think it's a D6 damage that the geese system does.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm going to take D6 damage, and I still have to roll
And you
reactor
gotta roll
die
your
as
reactor
well.
die. Yeah.
So I take 2 damage, and my reactor die again is a 2. So being a vet saves me again.
Yep. Wow.
And,
That's two downgrades avoided by being a veteran.
I love the veteran. It's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I take 2 damage as my mech kind of internally explodes, and I'm like, shit. I don't know if we can swear, but
That's fine.
yeah. And like the electricity kind of like hits her as well. Like she gets shocked as well by the explosion.
Awesome. Okay. Risen Fury, you're up. You've got another one of those handy little drones as well.
Perfect. So first, so first things, we're going to use a use action, and we're going to deploy the funnel drones. All of a sudden, from kind of these little spaces you didn't even think they were, and it's like beehive almost, as they all open these little hexagon hatches, and out flies these funnel drones, and they're going to fly up in the air and deploy. And while that's happening, I am going to use my sword to fight the one that's in front of me at this moment,
Cool.
which will be a success.
Okay. Let's get some damage.
Oh yeah, damage. I have to roll for that, don't I? Oh, this time I rolled a 10. Woohoo!
Oh, nice. Okay, great. That is enough to completely downgrade the swarm die. So you have disabled or destroyed enough of these guys where they are in full retreat and fleeing the battlefield. So what does that look like, Risen Fury, as you finish this this patrol group off?
It's almost like, as her name says, Risen Fury, she just kind of goes all battle mode. This sound, it's partly mechanic and also partly primal, kind of screams out of her, and she just kind of just hacks and slashes at these the remaining, and she's running basically straight at them, and just cuts down the last remaining few, while her drones are out there looking. I don't know if there are any left, but
Yeah, they would. You could just narratively say the drones just kind of chase after them and finish them off as they're like fleeing or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, before they the drones come back and nestle back in her.
Very cool. All right, so we are out of initiative. Sorry, Vortex, you didn't get to use Belt Fed, but you'll probably get a chance here in a little bit. The radar seems clear, and you can see the civilians are still just shoveling at this debris, trying to get it out of the way in order to get the trucks through behind you. What do you guys want to do?
So yeah, I might as I like attach the my shotgun, my scattergun to like the side of my mecha. I'm going to try and reach down and with my clawed hands, as I mentioned before, my mecha kind of looks like a pangolin, which are incredibly good at digging. So I'm going to try and clear the debris out of the way with my mech.
Cool. Yeah, give me a
clear the
power
road for
test. Oh. Go ahead and give me a power test, I said, muted.
Oh, I'm always getting really close to failing, but I got a 15 out of 16, so I
Okay,
passed.
cool. Yeah, you managed to just carve a path, clearing all the debris, and this little guy in like like greasy, dirt-stained fatigue, sort of like waves up at you, Crimson, and says, "Thank you. I don't know what we would have done without you." And he starts kind of waving the hover trucks through.
As they wave through, the little arms on the front of my mech, I kind of again give them a salute with the mech and just like, "No worries, mate," and I'll kind of motion them off. And
he says, I saw where they were setting up some sort of signal jammer about 2 clicks from here. It was near where the volcano came up yesterday. It's a shit show over there, but that signal jammer's still working. If you could find it and destroy it, we might be able to get a signal out for reinforcements. Good luck, whatever you decide to do. And he kind of jogs after the trucks to catch up.
Sounds like that's our next target. Phoenix Group, you know the drill. Move out. Suggesting Violet Fossil's cloaks and scouts ahead again, and Crimson Zero comes up behind Risen Fury and Vortex Midnight, while Risen Fury keeps a close eye on the sensors. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, you move out as before, as a cohesive unit, moving under Vortex's orders. You cover the distance quickly and don't run into any more enemy patrols. And in fact, as you move further in this direction, you actually kind of find the city in further ruins, to the point where there aren't really any buildings left here. As you crest this hill and look down, you can see these this lava field of cooling lava, where this volcano has kind of merged from underground to spew out magma, and you can see the remains of buildings, melted cars, like charred mecha, like in these poses, like they were trying to escape as the volcano was going off. And Risen Fury, if you could give me a system test, I'll tell you what happens next.
Okay. Oh, it was almost a fail, but that is a success.
Even through the intense heat of the lava and this lava dome that is kind of like burst out of the ground, almost like a pustule filled with lava, you can detect the signal jammer inside this lava field, just on the other side of the lava dome, and it is there and still active.
Sorry, it's inside the lava. She's kind of pointing towards this field of unpleasantness ahead of us.
Boop, 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 boop. As you bring that up on all of our displays, Casey just says, "How the hell they get it in there?" Well, and did I hear right? There's just one of these sort of pustules, or is it like a field of them?
Yeah, it's just one large lava dome, right. And it erupted out yesterday, and so the lava is mostly cooled, but you can still feel the intense heat coming from beneath the sort of the cooled lava, and you can see like veins of magma on this lava dome, kind of running down in rivulets.
Damn, Ionic tech never ceases to amaze me. I wonder if it's magma powered or just magma proof.
So what do we do? Just blow the shit out of it, or?
Good a plan as any, she says, sort of looking around and looking on the sensors. Unless it's booby trapped. What do you think, Risen Fury? What's the signature like?
Yeah, so how strong am I picking up? Like the signal that I'm picking up, is it?
It's pretty strong. It's a really powerful comm device that is sending out essentially like millions every second of these signal pulses to disrupt any transmissions that are coming in and out of the area. And that's where you're getting all of this static and strange interference from. The signal doesn't seem to be wavering even with the presence of the lava. So what Vortex said probably holds some weight. It might be lava powered or it might be lava proof.
Yeah. I relay that information to you. I've never seen anything like this.
Can we hack it? Is it can we get into its systems, or as I said, are we just gonna blow it to shit?
Yeah, as you ask that, Vortex had one of its huge arms like reached over and like ready to just pry off one of their own what is it, lodium alloy like plates to sort of intending to then toss that into the lava and see if if itself is lava proof. And I was going to just take off 1 AP to do that because it was cool, but I think it's like just pauses there where you say, maybe we should try hacking it first.
Yeah, so this is we're gonna try a little new mechanic here. We're gonna try a group skill check because this is gonna require multiple people working on it at once. So at least 2 people will need to try and do this, and we'll need at least 3 people, and we need a majority of successes on a system test. So basically, 2 of you have to get a success on this test. Up to you who wants to go.
That's cool. Well, who's got the shittest systems?
Mine's not great. Narrative justification, I suppose, being that this is an ancient mech.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've never been very good at this tech stuff, but yeah, let's give it a try. So yeah, so Violet.
Mine's very
and Riz-
middling.
Yeah.
I think that's the everyone's here.
Yeah.
I think we're a fighty kind of bunch rather than
Fighty rather than a hacky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, this has got to be done, so we might as well give it a try.
Yep.
All right. So systems test, yeah.
Yes, system tests from 3 of you, and we need a majority.
Oh, I rolled a 12 and my system is 13, so I just
Woo!
passed.
All right.
Nice.
Oh, good.
I rolled a
So
4, so
okay, very nice. Yeah, so that's 2 successes. So you all work together to break through the really intense firewall that protects the software running this thing. And it takes a few minutes of doing, but eventually you're able to break through these layers of protection, and you you infiltrate the main code. It was really funny. And you're able to either disable it, or you can try and reconfigure it to work in your favor if you want to, but it's going to require some more system tests to do that.
Maybe we just shut it down.
Yeah. If you ask, Vortex would be like, "Let's not press our luck. Shut it down."
So would it have to be a team test again?
It'll be another team test to try
Okay.
and get it to work the opposite way. Yeah.
If
Sheila's
we fail,
kind
does
of
it not shut down?
I haven't worked
suppose-
out what would happen if you failed, but I'm going to say that if you fail, it would basically alert all Aeons in the area of what you're doing, and they would probably descend upon it very quickly.
Sheila likes to push her luck, so she's obviously kind of annoyed that we're not going to try. But she at least understands enough not to be subordinate in this particular moment.
I think Risen Fury probably starts spouting off some sort of statistics of the likelihood of probability of failing. And
Sheila can't even do basic maths, so
All right, so we're disabling it. Yeah?
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. You're able to shut it down, and there's this, and the signal that you've been tracking, Risen Fury, immediately cuts out, and all of you are able to freely access nearby comms, and you're all kind of like picking up signals of people trying to communicate with each other across the city, and now you're able to hear them. But before you can do anything with that information, you all feel a rumble. The ground is shaking beneath you. There's a building that's kind of teetering, and as the ground is shaking, it just completely falls over. It sends dust and debris into the air. And you see that the lava dome is cracking. It's starting to crack and split. What would you all like to do?
I know what Vortex was about to do before this happened. And so I think she's probably, they were probably on the comms, starting to give some orders for who to check which comm signals now that we have them, and then they just sort of stop mid-sentence. Did you hear that? And then the building falls down, and I think they would actually sort of in the mech take a few thundering steps backwards and like move the mech's hands toward the chest again, sort of ready to attack if there's something down there. Weapons ready.
Crimson's just like, this day never frickin' ends, and like steps back and pulls out her shotgun, her scatter rifle, and like steps back behind Vortex.
I love that Crimson is like, oh my god, Mondays, am I right?
Yeah.
I think Risen Fury is going to stand up there with Vortex, kind of sword and rifle ready, shield out, kind of, I guess, providing a little more cover for Crimson Zero behind them.
And Violet would join the group in sort of the formation that they took and pull out like a double like scatter pistols and ready itself.
It's like we're in kind of like an Avengers formation kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
Like it zooms
The
in and
camera's
it's
like, yeah.
yeah.
And as you all take up these defensive poses, standing close to one another, the dome cracks on the top, and there's a moment of stillness and silence that precedes a massive claw erupting out of the lava dome, quickly followed by a head the size of a building that erupts out of the ground, and the maw opens up and lava spills out of it as it emits this cacophonous, thunderous roar that makes the ground shake beneath you as a void maw kaiju emerges from the lava dome. Let's roll initiative, shall we?
Oh my god.
All that you hear over Crimson's comms at the moment is like every swear word that you've ever heard, basically, and some that you haven't. Some new ones in there too.
Okay. Oh, everyone's going. Okay, cool. Everyone gets to go before the kaiju. Are we good with webcam order once again? All right, cool. So Violet Fossil, you get to go first. The kaiju is not yet fully emerged, so you can't tell exactly how big it is, but you are currently far distance away from it as it is clawing its way out of the very earth beneath you.
I think that just reflexes would take over, and I would just start firing. Just point and shoot, and let's see.
And this is a HD 5 enemy, so go ahead and add 2 to all of your rolls against it, please.
That's a success. It's 2 damage.
2 damage. Okay.
And then I think I would just start looking around to see if there's anywhere we could find cover or help.
Yeah. There's a lot of buildings at your back that you could try and seek cover if you wanted to move into one of those buildings.
I think that's what I would like relay a message to the group to be like, I don't know if this is possible, and we just kind of let's find somewhere to get some cover and run off.
And then Sheila comes over the comms. She's like, "Cover sounds very good right now. I think, yeah, let's." And she kind of uses her move action to follow Violet Fossil. But before she does that, she and as she's like going back, she one of the drones pop off and again attaches itself to Risen Fury. So I'm gonna use a move action to kind of retreat from the kaiju, and use action to put a one of my helper drones back onto Risen Fury.
Great.
So are we like at the moment? Are we still like on like the lava field? And
yeah, you're sort of like on the shore of it, for lack of a better phrase. So you haven't really like stepped onto the lava, but you're able to back up away from it if you want to.
Yeah. So I'll back up a little bit with Violet.
Okay. Cool. Into the ruins you go.
Yeah.
All right, Risen, you are up.
So Risen Fury is going to immediately fire that beam rifle. It's automated. It's almost like it has a will of its own, and it's going to fire at that creature. You said it's far, so I'm just
far.
Do normal.
Yep. You good?
+2. Oh, that's a good. So 10 + 2 is 12, which is under power. So that is a success. Sorry.
You're like, did I do good or bad? I don't know.
And that's 5 damage.
Okay.
And unlike the other two, Risen Fury is not running. Instead, she stands there because, in her mind, the best cover is getting under it. So I'm going to use another use action. So I'm going to need a reactor roll, if you don't mind, to release the funnel drones.
Yep, I'll do that. I'll take it
I'm
on
sorry.
my...
Oh, yeah. Yes, sorry. Yes. Because I'm doing 2 uses. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll again try my presence roll, which I passed, so you're all good.
Awesome.
All right, so attack and then the funnel drones.
Yeah, and they can't actually attack this turn, right? Because
I think they can. I think it's at the end of your turn they start doing their thing.
yeah, it says to near, close or near, right?
Oh.
Yeah, because they have to be around me, right?
Yes. Yep. That is true. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, but they're deployed and ready to go.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Vortex Midnight, you're up.
As the arms once again of Vortex Midnight move and get into position, battle mode in the chest there to start charging the beam cannon. As they're doing that, Casey gets on the comms to the wider comms, like a broadcast channel, just reaching out. This is Vortex Midnight of Phoenix Group, and would give the coordinates. A kaiju has emerged from the lava pit here. I repeat, a kaiju, and like category 1 or something like that.
Yeah.
All friendly units converge here now.
Very cool. Why don't you give me a presence test, if you would, Vortex?
Yes. Ah, fail.
Oh no.
It's okay.
You call out and you hear nothing back but static, unfortunately. But maybe you can try again next time. All right. Then it's the kaiju's turn. So this just massive creature. It can't even be fathomed how large this thing is. Its other arm kind of emerges out and it begins kind of pulling itself out of the lava dome. Again, just spewing lava in all directions, and you actually hear like semi-solid lava, like ping, 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 like pyroclastic material sort of hitting on the outside of your hull as the lava is spewing off and cooling in the air and then raining down. And the kaiju just swings its head, and as it opens its maw to roar, it looses a maw beam, and this like just beam of pure energy goes whoosh, and just like skirts in all directions. So I need I think everybody actually to give me a mobility test. Those of you that backed up into cover can do so with advantage, but make sure you're adding that +2 because this is a big boy.
And I'm doing it at disadvantage because I'm in battle mode.
Oh, that's right.
So that's a fail for me.
Okay. Anyone who failed is going to be taking 6 damage from the maw beam. And even if you're not damaged by the maw beam, you all have to kind of like dive out of the way as this like sort of like cuts through, and it actually like cuts a building in half. It like just shears right through a building, and the building like falls and then topples over. And this thing continues to emerge, now just about halfway out of the lava dome. That brings us back up to Violet.
So, as you know, I had to dive out of the way to avoid this attack, and I kind of tuck and roll. And as I come up, you said we're far
from
this?
from the kaiju. Yep.
I turn and I sort of see that Risen is standing her ground at this thing, and I sort of think that, you know, this is what we signed up for, was to protect the people. And so I turn and I run back towards, and I run into near range, and I fire off my micro missiles.
Nice.
So let's see if this works. I rolled a 4 plus the 6 under 11, so it's a success.
Great.
And it's a D4. 4 damage.
Nice. You know what? Actually, I added a thing to the micro missiles, so you can. I think I have it, so you can focus them on one target. Let me check really quick, because it'll be worth it if it is. Oh my gosh, where is the document? Aha! Okay, micro missiles as an attack action. Okay, you can do 1d4 damage to each enemy within close or near range, or 3d4 damage to one enemy within close or near range. So go ahead and roll 2 extra d4s, if you will, for that extra damage. I didn't want you to miss out on that.
Well, that's
just because
only
you don't
2
have
more
the...
damage.
Okay, well, hey, if you win by 2 damage, we'll know who to thank. I didn't want you to miss out on that 2 damage just because you don't have the errata from the from me futzing with the stuff. Okay, cool. So you charge forward, fire off these missiles, and they sort of pop against the like almost. This kaiju has like stone plates for skin, and they just like pop off, and you can see beneath the stone there's just magma running, like it's just like red hot beneath the flesh of this thing. and it, as the missiles go off, it kind of does like a like the kaiju in pain roar towards the sky, and sort of like starts lashing out with its claws, trying to knock you aside. Crimson Zero, you're up.
Okay, I have a rules question. With
Yeah.
reinforce, it says choose. So that's the one that gives the D6. It says choose a close or near mecha. Am I a close or near mecha to me?
Yeah, you are. We had this question come up before, actually, and I had to make a ruling. You can go ahead and reinforce yourself.
Because I have a pretty bad mobility. So,
Yeah.
I think. So, first thing, Crimson's like sees like the devastation that the Maw beam caused, and obviously took quite a bit of damage herself from it. Her older mech doesn't have the mobility to kind of get away from these attacks without using one of her own drones. So the drone lifts off from her back. It's a kind of one of the bigger ones on her back, and kind of sits in front of her, and kind of attaches maybe to her forehead on the mech, shielding up the front, and also like kind of helping with diagnostics and stuff like that, and mobility. And then she's going to pull out her shotgun from her side and fire it towards the kaiju. So it's at far, isn't it? So
It is, yes.
and it'll be +4, right? Because the heavy and
Yep, heavy and the big boy, yep. The big boy bonus, the triple B.
Nice. I rolled a 5, so that with the additions makes it under. So
Cool.
and I am at D6. So, and it's a heavy, so it's 2. So I rolled a 6, so it's 8 damage.
Nice. Yeah, you actually do some decent damage to this. So what does that look like
Yeah.
as you strike it?
So yeah, again, she's kind of making the beam into more of a solid one, and it kind of charges up in front of her. She's holding it. It's like charging a big red ball in front of the gun, and it kind of fires off, and like as it makes its way towards the kaiju, it kind of like hits the ground in front of her as well, and like lava and debris and stuff fly up from the ground as it kind of trails along and fires up towards the kaiju's head. Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. The kaiju again towards the sky as it not only is trying to claw its way out of the lava dome, but is also getting attacked by these really annoying mecha that are all around it. Okay, Risen Fury, you are up.
Yeah, so seeing as Violet Fossil goes running past and goes into the near zone, Risen Fury is going to follow along and go in there as well, so that we are near range. So I'll do a move action to go into near, and then as a use action, the beam rifle will again attack. 10 plus 2. Yeah, so that's a success.
Awesome.
4. Forgetting to roll damage. Oh, I'm so good at this. 3. 3 points.
3 damage. Listen, it all adds up.
Exactly. And then at the end of my turn, those funnel drones are now flying, and they're within range of this kaiju. So I can imagine it's like little mosquitoes almost like against it.
Little fruit flies just flying around it. Yeah.
You know, but they're annoying, and
Yep.
they do a little bit of damage. So they do a lot of damage actually. They do 8 points.
Damn. Okay.
Oh, and that makes me roll a reactor die.
6.
I'll do that for you. I'll
Yeah.
I'll roll a presence test. Hopefully, I don't do D6 damage to myself. No, I rolled a 7, so we're all good.
Okay.
And,
Awesome.
again, one of the little drones shoots off and flies towards you and onto your reactor and recalibrates and does its thing and flies back.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Okay, Vortex, you're up.
We cut back into the cockpit of Vortex Midnight with the purpley bluish glow and the hum of the sort of ancient reactor charged beam cannon in the chest charging back up and back on the comms. I repeat, in the downtown district we have a category 1 kaiju. Come in, anyone. This is Vortex Midnight from Phoenix Group. As I'm sort of doing my attack and use action at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and give me a presence test as you try to reach out over the comms.
Ooh, that's 14. But my presence is 14, so no, that's a fail.
Okay, all right. Again, just static over the comms. And you want to take an attack as well, go for it.
Yeah, so it'll be with being greeted by nothing but static again. Damn it! Oh yeah, that's a 4 on the dice, so +2 for the difficulty, +2 for the heavy is still 8 and under. And so damage is 4, 6, 7, 8.
8.
And I get to do belt fed next turn.
Awesome. Very cool.
Can I double check as well? I think it
Yeah.
would be, but just to double check,
Yeah.
because it specifically says, I know it's fine for this battle because it's one big target, but for a swarm,
Yeah.
because it specifically says when you hit a target, you can use an attack on subsequent turns to deal damage to the target again.
Yeah.
Is a swarm the target? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. And in the swarm rules, I actually added a thing because we had a question about this a couple games ago. Basically, a swarm counts as a target for the purposes of anything that specifies a target. So with the belt fed, like it would just be like you would just be like popping off other guys within the swarm, basically.
That's so good. I love it.
Cool. Okay, awesome. It's kaiju time. Kaiju o'clock. So the kaiju has now emerged completely. And as it climbs up, you see that it has these back limbs. It has its forelimbs. And as it comes up on top of the lava, it kind of like shakes, almost like, have you ever seen like a dog after a bath or like as they get out of the water, it shakes and it sends pyroclastic material in all directions, and it unfurls wings, these massive wings from its back that just like spread open and unfurl, and as they snap into place, again, just showered with lava. So I need everyone to do a mobility test, please, to try and avoid this. If you're in cover, go ahead and roll with advantage. Okay, anyone who fails is taking 6 damage.
Okay, so I have a question because
Yeah.
I'm totally going to use the die I got on this roll because I rolled
Yeah.
a 20, and that's bad.
Yeah.
Will it take away the fact that it's a crit? Like if I roll enough, let's say I roll enough and I don't get under my mobility, will it still be a crit then? Or
I would say no. If you use that die to reduce it, you're effectively reducing the die itself. So you'd no longer be taking critical damage.
oh, perfect. Okay, so I'm totally rolling. Oh, and I rolled it by 2, so that brings it to 18, which is still a fail.
Okay, all right. So 6 damage for you from the pyroclastic material that comes showering down from this thing. It then is going to... No. It focuses its maw beam on the last thing that damaged it. Vortex Midnight. I will need a mobility test from you, please.
Oh boy. Battle mode, disadvantage. That is a strong fail. Hard
Okay.
fail.
All right. Only 3 damage that time. A glancing blow from the maw beam, but this kind of white-hot beam, this laser-focused beam of energy just comes strafing across the hull.
It's not working very well. Because I'm in battle mode, I roll a d4 and reduce it by
You
that much.
negated it. Okay, what does that look like as you negate that damage in your battle mode?
So I think it would be maybe it's the it sort of was coming straight towards the sort of reactor-fed beam cannon, and it just sort of burned up as it was coming there.
Yeah, it sort of hits this field of energy and just like fizzles. Very cool. Okay.
And meanwhile, Casey's in the cockpit going, ah! Anime screaming.
Yes. You have to
screaming onto the comms. Come in, anyone!
Okay, we're back at the top of the initiative. Violet Fossil, you are up.
This thing has like crawled out of this hole and is towering over everything. And at this point, there's nothing to do but try. And so I'm going to actually take 2 attack actions and just fire my my pistols at it.
Okay, awesome.
So there's the first attack. Success. I'm gonna go ahead and roll the second attack. Success. 9 damage.
Nice.
I'll need a reactor roll.
I pre-rolled just in case, and unfortunately, I rolled. Your reactor's still fine, but mine isn't. I rolled a 20. I don't know if that crits on the geese system or anything, but yeah, I rolled a 20.
Man, I part of me is like, you got to take double damage from the discharge there. Yeah, I think you gotta. Right. Yeah,
I think I gotta. So we'll say that like the link that I actually have, the reason why it's going off my presence is because it's actually like attached into my brain.
Right.
So as I'm kind of trying to mess with Violet Fossil's reactor, again the age of the mech kind of betrays me and shocks me, and that leads me to like smash some buttons wrong, which leads to like parts failing and let's see. Well, actually, I'll roll my reactor dice first. I'll see if it downgrades.
Okay.
And it doesn't. But yeah, so electric shocks from my own reactor, tearing apart my own mech. And sorry, is the double damage in this, is it 2d6 or is it 1d6 times 2?
Go ahead and roll the 2d6, or go ahead and roll 1d6 and double it.
Okay, so I took 10 damage from that, basically.
Okay. Ouch. It's not a small amount of damage.
No, so I am actually almost dead from that. I am on 1 health.
Oof.
So yeah, okay, the explosion is going to be a lot bigger than I thought. So yeah, as I'm kind of doing that, the drone attaches to Violet Fossil, and as it kind of connects into his system, you guys just see like a big explosion of like red lightning and armor plates of. Oh wait, I've got armor plates. I can reduce it.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna reduce it.
I love how your narrative description reminded you of the mechanical bonus that they give you. You're like, my armor, my armor! Yeah.
So, sorry, I can't remember how they work. So is it 1 for 1 on armor?
Yeah,
plates,
1 for 1. Yeah, basically you can just burn armor to negate.
I will be burning all of my armor points.
Okay, perfect.
So, does shield armor points only work if I'm using my shield? Yeah.
Yes, if you're only if you're holding it. Yeah.
So I wasn't. So I'll burn. I think I've only got 3 armor points. So I'll burn all 3 of those. So I'm on 13. So yeah, the plates on me literally explode with lightning, destroying the armor plates.
Awesome.
Right.
Not awesome for you, but an awesome description.
No.
All right. And that was all in response to Violet Fossil's reactor roll. So we're actually to your turn now, Crimson Zero. Violet Fossil, actually, you did quite a bit of damage with these pistols. What does that look like as you start just firing at this massive kaiju?
Like you said, he had these sort of stone like plates all over him, and I'm trying to fire in between the plates to see if maybe I could get them to dislodge or just get into the heart of this and get around the stone plates.
Very cool. Awesome. Okay, Crimson Zero.
So as I kind of shake myself back into consciousness from all that damage, Sheila just like yells out like, "Oh mate, screw this!" Going kind of all in. She lowers her gun down and fires her shot, which will be a. Yep, that's a pass. So that goes off, which is d6 plus 2, which is again another 6, so 8 damage.
Nice. Very nice.
And then this one is more of like the spread apart one, because I'm going to activate the arc special rule, meaning that the kaiju rules wise says it doesn't get to make an action. Is that right?
Yep.
And so that's also a reactor roll. I'm actually going to roll my reactor dice because
You're like, the presents hurt me too much. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't recovered from that last roll.
Yeah.
So, and I passed the reactor roll, and I'm actually going to do it again. I'm going to make another shot.
Okay.
12. That fails though, because of the +2 and the +2. So I missed that shot. And that kind of just goes wide. The first one I still haven't recovered, and I kind of the recoil of the first shot kind of makes the second miss.
And that'll be another reactor roll for you with the double attack.
Oh yeah. I'm fine though.
Okay, cool. What does it look like as you use the arc quality on this weapon to basically stick this kaiju in place for a turn?
Yeah, so this is more of like the last attack was kind of a focused beam, but this is a more like spread out kind of beam, and it covers the whole kaiju basically in this red electricity, and it's constant, like it's a continuous beam, and it's kind of like keeping it in place maybe with the electric tendrils are kind of keeping it in place.
Very cool. Awesome. Yeah, and again, this as it's kind of stuck in place and this energy is kind of coursing through it. The lava beneath the plates of the armor is glowing hotter by the minute. It's getting redder and redder the longer this kaiju is battling you. And that brings us to Risen Fury.
All right. Yeah, this creature is huge. So I think the very first thing that happens is it's almost like a split-second thought, and that beam rifle shoots towards this, I guess electrified at this point, kaiju. And we're going to... Oh, man. That's not what I want to roll. So that actually misses.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So that's not good. And then seeing that is kind of flying wide or whatever, Risen Fury is then going to move close to this creature.
Okay.
So I'll use a move action for that. And then at the end of the turn, the drones again will try to pepper this.
Yeah.
6 damage.
Okay, nice. Yeah, the drones are just plinking away at this thing, trying to do death by 1,000 cuts.
Right.
Okay. All right. Vortex Midnight, you are up.
Still screaming, and the beam weapon from the chest is a continuous beam, and so it's another 6 damage for my attack action, because it's just continuously sort of tracing across these hardened scales of the kaiju, and occasionally finding purchase in between to the flesh. And once again, just continuously screaming on the comms, "Anybody, come in!"
Go ahead and give me a presence roll, Keel.
Is this with a +2 for the difficulty as well?
No, not with +2.
There we go. 3 on the die. That's a success.
So you've been calling out on the comms for a while now with no response, but as you're sort of concentrating firing this chess beam into this kaiju, you hear over the comm, "Stand by, Phoenix Group. The collective is here." And you see thrusters as 4 Terran mecha sort of set down on top of buildings surrounding this lava field and immediately start firing like chain guns into the kaiju, just like queen, just like all these projectiles coming in from all sides, and they begin firing at it. So this is a D8 swarm die that you now have command of, Vortex Midnight. So go ahead and roll that D8 to deal the damage for this turn.
Oh my god, this is so baller. 5.
Okay, awesome.
And they call out on the comms, "Woo! Cavalry's here!"
Okay, it's kaiju time. So let me see if this thing recharges really quick. It does. Okay. First thing, I need everyone to do a presence check.
Don't forget that I've arced it up if that's changing what's happening.
Oh, it doesn't get to go this turn.
Boom.
You're absolutely right. There's no big boy time this time. Okay, so Violet Fossil, you're up.
Oh no.
Yeah. You're like, oh damn, Matt's cheating. I guess it is going. Okay. Violet Fossil, you're up. This the kaiju is still restrained, but you can see that it's starting to break free of the this stasis that is keeping it there.
So seeing I have this opportunity to that it's sort of paralyzed, I'm going to cloak, and I'll roll my own reactor die this time.
We'll give Crimson Zero a little break. Yeah.
And I'm good on that. So I'm going to cloak and then and sort of move around sort of to the side. I'm not moving any closer, but kind of move around to the side to get out of where I was standing. And then as I uncloak, I'm going to fire my pistols off at it again.
Okay, awesome.
From a different side. And advantage. Okay, so there's no way that this just happened. I just rolled 2 20s.
Oh my god. That's awful.
Yeah, yeah, that's terrible.
If you were playing D&D, you'd be so hyped right now.
Absolutely.
Oh no. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, hey, at least you're not rolling 20s to avoid damage. Yeah.
Right. So I go to fire and they click. They're empty.
Yep. Damn, I forgot to reload my mecha revolvers. All right. That was 2 actions, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Crimson Zero, you're up.
Okay. Right. So yeah, first things first. I'm going to again use the little drones to help myself out with mobility checks. So that's a reactor roll. Isn't it? Yes. So I'll roll that, and I'm fine. And then I'm going to make. Am I quiet?
Oh, it was a little bit quiet. I think maybe the mic just moved away from your face.
Okay. Am I all good now? How's this?
Still a little quiet.
Oh, weird. Hang on.
Maybe you should just yell. It'll be better.
Yeah, okay. I will yell. I'll be very loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna make another attack.
Cool.
Which misses because
no.
of the bonuses, the
Yep.
negatives. So yeah, again, as with Violet Fossil, I will go to shoot my gun, and mine also just clicks, click, click, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you've just been
luck's not on our side right now.
You've just been spewing rounds into this kaiju, this literal bullet sponge, and you've run out of bullets. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Risen Fury, you are up.
Perfect. So now I am in close range with this thing, and
Yeah.
Risen Fury is just going to go all out, and I think if there's room, like absolutely going in from the underbelly, that's where she's going to go, and she's going to use that sword to hack at it. Oh my goodness, what's with these high rolls right now? It's only 20 that's a crit fail, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, perfect, because I rolled a 19. So maybe it's not quite, or the ground isn't as stable as she thought. Whatever it is, she does not get a good purchase to be able to swing at this creature. However, as a use action, her rifle is going to shoot from below there. So
Ooh,
that's
yeah.
at disadvantage. Right?
Yep, at disadvantage, yeah.
Oh man! So I rolled a 20 on that one, so that's not good.
Oh no, yeah. You guys are not rolling well in the final hour here. The third act of the play is not going well.
It's all the heat. It's messing with our systems.
Yeah. Yep.
We look really lame to these guys that just showed up.
They just showed up there like, well, this Phoenix group's really whizzing it down their leg over here. I'm glad we showed up to help.
Yeah. So that one, I guess my beam rifle for sputters, it's not used to this heat. And
Yeah.
Temporarily doesn't do anything. But my drones.
Yes, the drones.
Are going to go off
Don't forget the funnel drones.
for 6 points.
Oh, nice.
And that I need to roll a reactor die. I don't know if you want me to take that or.
No, I'm still at D10, so I
Okay.
can still keep taking them. As long as I'm not using my presence anymore, I'm fine.
Okay, cool. The kaiju, the pieces of it are sort of sloughing off at this point. The plates are falling. Every time it moves, there's like lava coming from wounds along its side. These wings, it starts to kind of like wind them up and beat them, almost like it's going to start taking off. But before it does so, Vortex Midnight, you're up.
Yep. Vortex's continuous beam cannon moves to try and target these wings for 8 damage on the belt-fed
Ooh, nice.
beam cannon.
Yep.
And I'm trying to decide whether I want to do a second attack and just deal straight damage again. Yeah, I think I'll do that. That's allowed, right? With belt-fed?
Yeah, you can do it again. You'll just roll reactor for the double attack action.
Cool. I'll do the reactor first. 5. That's all good. Okay. There we go. That's more like it. 9, 10, 11 damage.
Okay. And you also have the guys, the Terran Collective guys, that can deal damage alongside you. So go ahead and roll a d8 for them.
Target the wings. Don't let it escape. 4 damage for them.
All right. Keel, I want you to describe to me how Phoenix Group and their new allies finish off this kaiju.
Oh boy. So I think it's one of those moments in anime, in like a mech anime, where there's so much yelling and so much like quick cuts between close-ups of like and, and like the kaiju like spreads these horrible wings, lava pouring from its wounds and its mouth and its eyes, and these wings just really spread, and it tries to take off, and just one of them just sort of gets shredded by Vortex Midnight's beam cannon, and the other one gets peppered with bullets from the Terran Collective allies who have arrived. And I think Casey in the cockpit of Vortex Midnight is just like screaming and crying, just like cathartically, just screaming, and just as we finally take this thing out, and getting vengeance for not only themselves and this downtown area that they're in here, was where they grew up, I think, when they were a lot younger. They've since moved away, but just seeing that it's completely leveled and gone, and the corner stores and their old house is just nowhere to be seen, you know, and they know that this is the case all over this city, and it's just this cathartic, loud victory. As the kaiju will probably maybe even start taking off and like crash into knock over another tower, and or maybe it's actually like a partly collapsed bridge, just like a portion of it sticking out, and one of the big pylons that holds it up just crashes into that and is sort of under this broken chunk of the bridge, like broken over the top of it as it lays there still, more lava pooling and cooling around it.
Awesome. The thunder of this battle is soon fades, replaced by a strange, quiet stillness. And as the four of you look out over this lava field and the smoldering city beyond, you know that the threat for now is dealt with, and now comes the hard part: rebuilding. And while as we close out the session here, I'd like to give every person a chance to do like a little narrative scene of how you would be helping like rebuild the city, like with your mech. Like, what would you be doing with your mech to help like rebuild or like get people out or like help people escort things, stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and start with you, DJ.
As the camera pans and it's a sort of a cluttered street of vehicles that these are, you know, the hover vehicles, but they're all on the ground, like all their hover have been destroyed, and so Violet Fossil is just going around and sort of pushing these vehicles and this rubble and stuff into big piles to be hauled off by the sort of the larger vehicles that have come in to help, and just pushing these into piles, and all the while, you know, if looking for things that could, you know, help maybe rebuild the city or help with our team or whatever, but just mostly just getting everything and moving it into so that it can be cleaned up.
Very cool. Okay, Gwen, go ahead.
So Sheila is sitting in the cockpit of her pretty messed up mech, and below her is the guy who she helped with the cover truck before, and she's on the loudspeaker on her mecha, directing rescue efforts, helping people out of the rubble, and when she needs to, she comes down and with her mech as carefully as it can to kind of pick up rubble and move it out of the way and help the survivors from their destroyed homes.
Awesome. I just picture it so well with the like pangolin like mecha with its little like arms just like shoveling. Arms. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, Karen, go ahead.
I actually imagine that Risen Fury is probably right there with Crimson Zero, and Crimson Zero is like shoveling away some of the debris and trying to get these people out. And meanwhile, Risen Fury is using like one hand to like maybe have a couple people step onto it, and she'll move them from one place to another. Meanwhile, she's holding up another maybe a beam that's collapsing in another area. The third hand is potentially like moving some debris that Crimson Zero is like shoveling around, and so she's basically just right in there doing all sorts of things all at once, just very almost like three different people kind of doing three different things all at once, but kind of collectively helping Crimson Zero help these people out of these damaged homes.
Very cool. Okay, and finally, Keel, go ahead.
We see some small labor mechs picking up pieces of rubble and moving them back and forth. There's quite a flurry of activity of them. As we zoom out a little bit, we see the footstep of Vortex Midnight towering over these smaller labor mechs, and with the huge arms picking up a huge piece of rubble and moving away. And then we cut further out again to a wider shot, and there's that sort of sound on the score of the of the movie, as it's the kaiju corpse with this broken fragment of bridge over the top of it. And we cut back inside the cockpit, where Casey, inside Vortex Midnight, is pulling levers, pressing buttons, and interacting, moving the mech around. And suddenly there's a beep 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 boop 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 boop, as this purplish bluish ghost of a figure on the heads-up display emerges, like a smaller kaiju emerges from the corpse of the bigger kaiju, and she just as exactly as the actual smaller kaiju emerges, as soon as it breaches the flesh and comes out into the air, it's picked off straight away. That precog system pays for itself.
Awesome. That was a really fun session, a really fun mission to run. Grant wrote a really amazing mission. I was really excited. I rolled the twist before we started, and I got the kaiju emerging from beneath the city, and I was very excited about that. So we definitely skipped the later encounter in the mission, because I was like, I really want to run this kaiju encounter. So I just kind of on the fly futzed around with it. But that's the beauty of these missions, is they're very easy to kind of make adjustments on the fly based on how things are going and what the players are doing and stuff. So thank you, Grant, for writing that mission. That was really, really fun to run. So and I know we just did our narrative scenes, but I wanted to give everyone a chance to do a little sign off as well before we end things. So we'll go ahead and start with DJ.
This has been awesome. Awesome play. Matt did a great job running this for us, and I love playing with all you guys. This was really great, and I hope to play with you guys some more.
Yeah, absolutely. This was our first game together, DJ, and it was a lot of fun. Pleasure having you. So, Gwen, go ahead.
Yeah, that was great. I've been lucky enough to actually be writing missions for this, and this is the first one that I've actually played, and it was very fun. I really enjoyed it, and my first time actually playing as a play character in Mission Manual. I mean, in Mecha Hack. It was really good. And if you want to, I've got a Twitter that I don't really use too much, but it's there. If you go to Gwen_Read, READ, you'll find me there. And get the mission manual and play my missions.
Yeah, we ran Defending Kuro Station a little while ago. That was one of Gwen's, and she's also writing a couple more, so I'm excited. All right, Karen, go ahead.
I wanted to say thank you, Matt. This was absolutely a blast. I absolutely love Mecha Hack. It's just so much fun getting to kind of play these big machines out. It's awesome. I cannot wait to get the mission manual in my hot little hands and see where I can take that. So thank you so much, and thank you to all the players. It was absolutely a blast to play this game. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, Karen is one of the original scrappers from my original Mecha Hack campaign. So it was good to do some mecha action with you again, Karen. Keel, go ahead, man.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks so much, Matt, for running this and having me. It was so much fun. Finally playing in a game that you've run, actually.
Yeah, no, I know. I was real. I don't think I had ever had you as a player before, so this was a lot of fun.
It was awesome, and yeah, what a crew to do it with, and the fourth and final mission for the mission manual. So
fifth and final. Yet, I ran 5 of these damn games.
In one every week, right?
Yeah, one every week. Yeah.
What a beast. You haven't. I think it's still got a couple of hours left, I think, for the Kickstarter. So.
Yeah, we have just about 3.5 hours left on the Kickstarter, and we did hit 31,000 while we were playing tonight, so that's very exciting.
Oh my god.
We're just about halfway to 32, so
Very good.
I
So,
don't know.
I mean, you've got a few hours left
Yeah.
to back it if you haven't yet.
Yes.
And I am luckily enough to be writing a couple of missions for it as well, and I'll be proofreading the whole thing, so I'm super looking forward to all of that. I'm stoked to be involved, and yeah, thanks again for having me. My name's Keel. I run, write, and play role-playing games. You can find me on YouTube, all the socials, and Patreon/RunWritePlay. Love to have you come and see what I'm doing.
yeah, definitely go check out Keel's Patreon. It is great. So thank you everyone for tuning in. And there are a few people who have tuned in every Friday to watch these games, and I really appreciate folks doing that. Really means a lot. And yeah, if you haven't checked out the mission manual, go ahead and do so. The preview PDF is going to be going out to backers probably first thing tomorrow morning. I've got it all packaged up, ready to go, and that has a bunch of stuff from Mission Manual as well as the basic rules from Mecha Hack in case people didn't have Mecha Hack yet, so they can try out some of the stuff and actually play it over the holidays before we get the PDFs out to people in January. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for me. I'm going to go eat a cheeseburger and watch Mandalorian. I managed to not get spoiled today. I'm very excited that I wasn't spoiled.
Oh yeah, it's Mando Day.
Yes, it's Mando Day. So it is a good day. It is a good day. Everyone, have a really good weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time. I won't see you again this year. So happy holidays, everyone. Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2021.
Bye.